tell heaven from hell, blue sky from pain. Can you tell a green field from the cold steel rail? A smile from a veil. Do you think you can tell? Did they get you to trade your heroes for ghosts, hot ashes for trees, hot air for a cool breeze, cold comfort for change? Did you exchange a walk apart in a war for a lead role in the cage?
Hello and welcome to this first lesson of how to play Wish You Were Here. This is also the first lesson in the advanced acoustic course, and we are going to start off with looking at the verse-chorus chords, the progression there, what rhythm to play with, and how we can make this sound nice and why we should play something specific here. So the chord progression is from the key of G. The key of G has G as chord 1. That is a very common home. Feels like home in this verse-chorus progression. A minor is chord 2. Chord 3 will be B minor. We don't use that in this song. Chord 4 is C. In this song we put the 5th there in the bass. More on that later. And then we got chord 5 to D, and we put a 3rd in the bass. And then we have chord 6. That is the home chord of the intro. We don't have chord 7, but kind of when we're playing the D with the F sharp in the bass there, it's kind of like chord 7 in a way. It's hinting that anyway. So we're starting off with chord 4, and we put that 5th of the chord in the bass. And it feels like it takes off because it's chord 4. Great for bridges and stuff where you want to be like, now I'm going somewhere. But here they put it in straight from the beginning at the verse and also the chorus, same progression. C over G, and then up to 5. So that feels like full on tension. Should go back to 1 now, right? But it doesn't. It goes to 2. Very unexpected. And then to 1. So we're resolving here on the 1, and it feels like home. Yeah, it feels like home. But because it's in the 4th bar of this progression, it doesn't feel rested yet, because that should perhaps happen on like bar 5, where we've done our 4 bars and now we're starting over again. But because the 1 chord is at the end, it doesn't feel like we've finished. And then we go to 5, not with the F sharp now, just 5, and then 4. And then we keep going down to 2. And then to 1. Very clever. Bit different. It's not. I haven't seen that in a lot of songs. So from the top then we got C over G. Very simple rhythm. D over F sharp. Chord 2 is A minor. D is 5. Chord 2 again. And 1. So it's a bit strange that you never feel like you finish it. If I stopped here, it'd be like, whoa, it's not resolved, even though it is resolved. It's chord 1, right? So what makes it work so well is that the intro instrumental outro section is in minor, and that kind of feels more like home. So when we go and tell our story here over there, when we're singing, it's constantly as if we're moving somewhere because of the order of the chords and the placement of the G being at the end. Very clever stuff. Right, so this strumming this to just one vocal, it would be really tempting to like be trying to be as expressive as possible. That's kind of normally what you want to do. Just keep turning things around. Maybe add some licks. Like lots of emotion, you know? But the thing is, that wouldn't be very good because the rhythm of the vocal melody is unbelievably syncopated. And in order for that to not sound like a car crash where you're constantly changing the strumming and the rhythm of the strumming, and instead of that would then clash with the syncopated vocal. So if you just play this, just keep doing that. Then now everyone's expecting you to continue doing that. But it's almost like, surely it's gonna change sometimes, but it doesn't. And that means that this very complex vocal, or it's the rhythm of the vocal. The notes aren't like that crazy, but it's so syncopated. It's all like coming in on the 4 and the 2, and it's pulling over and giving it this foundation of just down, taka, taka, down, taka, taka, down. It really is the best way to play it. So what we can do is we can try to find some more dynamics in the way we strum it. So instead of just being like this, that would be awful. Now there's no feel whatsoever, right? So we got try to put that feel in our strumming technique and how much of the chord you play. So what about this? So I'm playing only the bass notes sometimes and just a few strings and quite light. And then maybe for the second verse, I missed a strum there. You got more. But never change the rhythm. That's how I think you should do it. Stick to the rhythm, but then break up the strumming. Because then all the focus will go on the vocal melody, which is, at the end of the day, what people really want to listen to. That's what they're, that's where the message is and the lyrics. And it's just such a brilliant song, this. And also, the other bits that we play is so intricate that if we make this like almost stupid simple, then the other bit sounds like incredibly complicated. So it's a great way to build some contrast here by sticking to this simple strumming. Later on we're going to actually play this vocal melody, and then you'll really feel what this means. You can see here in the notation on the page that the rhythm of that is written out. And if you look at how they are connecting with the strummed rhythm, you can see that the strummed is like helping it out all the time, but never getting in its way. So try playing that. There's a loop to play along to, so it should be pretty easy. And then let's move on to play the intro strumming.